develop the ego to drop it? Means for a certain, is there any, I mean, is it only for the formative years for children till they are 5 or 6 that you can kind of develop their ego? Or is there any age limit?
Not age limit. I guess one has to grow up to a young adult. Up to that point, then alone he has a self-worth.
Yes.
Although we should educate that look, this has a limited benefit, and that this is something that you have to overcome. Because right now what is giving you happiness will become a burden to you. Even though the whole world is doing that, the whole world has accepted this rule that more satisfaction of ego, more happiness there is, which is not so. But we need ego satisfaction up to a certain point to develop self-worth. When that is done, then we should recognize that now it's like a crutch, then we have to drop it.
Thank you, Swami.
Yes, sir. Is love more essential than wisdom? Yes, love is the most essential, no doubt about that. But we need not necessarily make a compartment that love is necessarily devoid of wisdom, or that wisdom is devoid of love. We need not think that one excludes the other. When this question is asked, is love more essential than wisdom? See, wisdom removes the obstacles to love. Love is our nature, and love wants to manifest itself. But our raga-dveshas, attachments, aversions, etc., they what? Stifle our love. Attachment, that is where my love is directed. Aversion, that is where my love is blocked. So love is our nature. But this attachment, aversion is a generic term for all our inner impulses, of anger and lust and greed, etc., etc. So they are the things that block or stifle the expression of love. And therefore, with wisdom, we try to remove those obstacles. So wisdom enables me to know what it is that is an obstacle to the expression of my love, and I I work to remove those obstacles. So we don't have to compartmentalize love and wisdom that way. Although it is possible that there can be wisdom at an intellectual level with, no love, people may have noticed that. But if that intellectual understanding also is used properly, it will help us to remove the obstacles to love. Love we have. Obstacles are attachments and aversions. So more we understand them, more we understand the cause, we can try to remove them, and therefore that wisdom or understanding is very much helpful also in releasing the love, in removing the obstacles to love. Because everybody is of the nature of love. How come everybody is not always loving? Ideally we should be always loving. When I see you, no. I see this one, no. So my inner problems of aversion, etc., comes forth and then deprives me of expressing my love for a given person, given individual. So I should recognize that that's an obstacle. It's nothing with there. It's some obstacle in me that stifles my expression of love. So wisdom helps us remove the obstacles to love. Do I make myself clear? Is it more essential to love than to be wise? Yes? If you can love as you are, that's wonderful. So there are people who are more loving than others, depending on what they have brought from their past lives, etc. And it's wonderful to be able to love is a great wealth, you know. But we need not separate this love from wisdom. That's all I mean. Love also ultimately has to be understood. The love also should not become lust, should not become attachment, etc., etc. So all that also we must understand. Ishvara's creation re-emerged when humans were locked down. That's what we say. Are humans with their free will not also Ishvara's creation? Humans are also Ishvara's creation. Then why should humans be locked down for Ishvara's creation to come out? See, humans are Ishvara's creation, but humans have a free will. And that is called a freedom that can be abused. And more often than not, human beings likely to abuse his freedom, abuse his free will, and thus bring about a damage. Because human being is a self-centered entity, and he is a very powerful being with the intellect that is given, other abilities that is given. Human being is the most powerful animal in this world, and he can use this power to abuse others. That is when there is a lot of harm done. So, it is not the absence of human being, it is the absence of abuse of free will. That's what I should say. The lockdown did not allow the human beings to abuse their will. So therefore it was freedom of abuse of free will that is what brought about the nature. You know, not humans, but human means this free will, and that means abuse generally speaking. Now, technical question. If Brahman is infinite and limitless, must avidya not exist within it? Does this not contradict the perfect nature of Brahman? Why should contradict? Yes, avidya also is illumined by Brahman. Brahman is consciousness, that illumines ignorance also. That's why I know that I am ignorant of something. So ignorance does not in any way contradict the limitlessness of Brahman. Ignorance is not in Brahman. Ignorance is illumined by Brahman. Ignorance is in our mind, in the mind of the creatures, but that is also illumined by Brahman, and that doesn't make Brahman ignorant. Brahman illumines ignorance. There is no contradiction in perfection of Brahman and illumination of ignorance. Is liberation from Maya not itself a phenomenon in Maya? How can one be certain? You don't have to worry. When you are free, you know that you are free. Do you need to verify with somebody that, am I happy? It is self-revealing. That I am happy, I know without being told. That I am free, I know without being told. I don't need to seek justification or validation. Am I happy? I don't need validation because it is self-revealing. Freedom also. And therefore, liberation is my nature, self-revealing. And therefore, how can we be certain? You are as certain as you are when you are happy. You know that you are happy, so also you are free. All questions from one person, by the way, from writings. when we do work as worship, how or what is the role of Gruha Seva, means the household work, puja, in the world of things? We are not looking at the role in world of things, we are looking at role in our own life actually. So we just say, even our day-to-day activities at home also, they become the worship by a change of attitude that I am working. This story, this little thing, I must have told you an anecdote, that a huge temple is being built, and the architect, who had designed the temple and supervising, once was visiting, and he saw some laborers doing their work, they're breaking stones. He asked the first laborer, and said, "What are you doing?" "Yeah, I am just, this is all labor to fill up my, my stomach." Asked the second one, "What are you doing?" "I am breaking stones." Asked the third one, "What are you doing?" "I am building temple." So depends on the perception that you are a contributor, you are a part of the whole universe, in fact, at any time. And it's for you to connect yourself with that and see how what little thing that you do ultimately in a long succession contributes to the functioning of the universe. So as long as we need not worry, as long as what we do is in keeping with the basic law, it will contribute to the function of the universe. And so whether Gruha Seva, fine, household work, the spirit of Seva. Every day, same treasury. So we very often reject or refuse, what shall I say, deprive ourselves of the opportunity that gives us. But household work is no different from any other work. Depends of, the household work means routine work. So at the office also it's the routine work. Ultimately anything becomes routine, if you look at it that way. "Oh, but I love gardening." But that's not routine. Well, because in your mind it's not routine, gardening is the same thing. So nothing has to become routine. It is in our mind that it becomes routine. Just a funny story that Swami just tell us, how you can change your action. Like this traffic policeman whose job it was to only, in India, this traffic policeman is like that, this and that. Whatever they do, I never understood quite, but this is what they do. It's such a routine job and such so monotonous, anybody can get bored. So this policeman changed his job and he started dancing. They said the same thing. So doing his day-to-day activity and turn it into something of a pleasure. Of course, he had to remove from that place because everybody stopped there, watch his dance, and so that did not work quite. But
I think Swami, he was invited somewhere here too.
he was invited in United States? Huh.
UK or United States?
It's okay, yeah. But it's a matter of how to transform what you do into something pleasurable. The form need not change, the way we relate to that changes. Why what is called hobby gives me happiness, and other thing is called a monotonous work, other is routine work, and that doesn't make me. Is it something to do with the mind or something to do with the work? More it's something to do with the mind. And so every day same cooking is never the same. Oh, same rice, it's not the same rice. Different rice, different dal, different vessel, different boiling, different cooking, different spices. Every day different. You can make it unique every day. By just spirit, it's attitude. And so no task is monotonous task or routine task or it's the attitude that makes it so. There is a little thing in body, then in center there is I, then there is an arrow called mind. So I, one arrow to body, one arrow to mind. How are these best controlled? See, the best way to control them is to purify them. To control the mind, the best way is to purify. The reason why we feel mind is not in control, because it's controlled by impulses of ragadveshas. So therefore, if a program is to progressively become free from ragadveshas, automatically mind will become a friend. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, Atmaiva Hyatmana Bandhu, Atmai Ripuratmanaha. Our mind can be our friend, our mind can be our enemy. Therefore, to make our mind friend is what all we are talking about. So it doesn't have to be controlled, make it our friend. Make the mind the friend by the right attitudes. And body also will be controlled. If everything is in order, how do you convince your teens or children to improve? Mom, everything is in order. I failed in the exam, it's in order. What does it matter? Everything is in order. Today I did not go to school, it's in order. Instead I went to a movie, it's in order. I think that statement, everything is in order, is not quite well understood. What is meant by saying that is, everything has a reason to be there. That's all it means. There is a reason for everything to be there. Not that what I do is in order. What I do has a reason. That I did not go to school has a reason. That is how my mind, somehow made me think that way. Is a reason. It must have, slowly it may be a chain effect of something or the other. Everything in order doesn't mean everything is right, understand? Everything is in order means everything has a reason to be there. That doesn't mean everything is right. So, thus we can certainly help our children or our team to improve because it's in order because you are not doing it well. So it is like this. Order means there is a reason for that. What everything is order means there is a reason for being what it is. If you change the reason, it will be different. If you feel that the things have to change or be different, then you have to change the cause, and you can. Where is human role to improve or change and meaning where to stop? When should I stop changing? I guess that seems to be the question. You will know, I'm all right. When you find you're all right, there's no need to change. Everything is all right. That becomes your perception, not just the words. If everything is in order, why failure is not? But that is just word for that person. He using that statement to justify something. He doesn't see it's in order. You follow? It's just a lip service, everything is in order. Swami, Ma, everything is in order, Mom, so why worry? Failure also is in order. But that's all lip service. When that becomes a reality for us, then it's all fine. So, then nothing needs to be changed when that perception comes. In case you need clarification, you can ask. If my answer is not in keeping with your expectation, then you can raise a question. While making donations or service, sometimes people who are not in need take advantage of our money and it doesn't go to the needy. What should we do? Well, investigate. Before making a donation, if you know that it is going to affect you, then you better inquire into who you are donating to. Take your time. And as best as you can, make sure that it's a right, person, right entity. Don't just donate. Inquire. What is the institute doing? What services they are providing? If that is what your mind needs in order to convince, then you get whatever information you need. Some people may need more, some people may need less, but it's not right to just give away. They say, why should we make a distinction, Swamiji? The trees don't make any distinction, they give the fruits to anybody. Yeah, but that is, Lord Krishna says, Deshe kale cha patre cha tad dhanam vidhi sattvikam. At the right place, at the right time, to the right person, when it is given, that is called the proper charity. We cannot always make sure of that, to the extent that we can. So one says, my intention was good, but the result is not good. The person who got misused it and this and that, and it can happen. All we can do is to try to investigate as much as we can about the fitness of the recipient, as much as we can. Many a time an employer does not treat employees fairly. How can an employee show contentment to the employer? That fellow is not treating me fairly. How can I be happy with him? Also there is loyalty to the union, that is a different thing. But how is it possible for me to gracefully accept an employer who is not treating me fairly? This is a question, I think. That this is... Now this requires us to display a two-step response. The one-step response is that this fellow is treating me badly, therefore I respond with anger or with resentment or whatever. Well, the two-step response is that this person, this employer, is treating the employees badly. Why does he do that? Is he greedy? He is narrow-minded? Is he short-sighted? Is he an angry person? All of this shows that he is an unhappy person. So, if you see the person behind the behavior, it may be possible to discover some sympathy for the person. You do what is necessary to do. Even that if you have to fight your case, etc., you can go ahead and do that. But we need not hate a person because of the behavior, because the person behind the behavior is a helpless person, a person in pain. A greedy person also is in pain. But it's greedy, smart, Swamiji takes advantage. Yes. Not that we have to submit to those people or we to allow them to do that, but we need not hate those people. Because outwardly is greed all of us shows an inner pain, inner incompleteness. And therefore, so the person, if you can take no consideration person behind the behavior, then we can discover a sympathy. Then do what you need to do, but do with sympathy rather than with resentment. That's all we can say. You take up the case with the unions, etc., do that, but not with resentment, with sympathy for that person. Oh, we already seen this. Oh. I have a question off the topic. Can you please describe significance of the peacock feather on crown of Lord Krishna? Do you know? Vaishnavas would know? What else can you get there? Yes, go ahead.
I don't know whether this is right or wrong, but the feather in head is to remind us to be light about things, not to be serious. That's the interpretation I am kind of given to it.
No, peacock feather is a very beautiful feather, and therefore it adds to the beauty of whoever puts it on. There is no question about it. And I guess where Lord Krishna was being raised, there was a lot of peacocks and there were lots of feathers must be around, and so it's, after all, their ornamentation was what was available. What kind of flowers? We have beautiful mala for Lord Krishna, but I don't think that they had those kind. So this is called Vanamala. You know what is Vanamala? Vanamala means his friends would pluck flowers as they go on the way, pluck flowers and make a mala. Not that there is systematic one flower and arrangement, whatever, what can those fellows do? But whatever looks beautiful on Lord Krishna, he is beautiful. That enhances the beauty of the Lord. In case of peacock feather, the beauty of feather is enhanced by the one who puts it on. In case of other people, the peacock enhances the beauty because peacock feather is very beautiful, it's colorful. Beautiful designs and colors are there, and it's available without any himsa. You just pick up only from the floor. So, and that's all they had where Lord Krishna grew up.
On that peacock feather, that little design there looks like the Ajna Chakra. So, do you have any ideas about that?
Possible that this feather has other significances, I'm sure. The Vaishnavas going in those traditions may assign many other significance to this, but I'm not much familiar with that myself, whether it corresponds to some chakras or not, I do not know. They may. But we just look upon Krishna as a beautiful entity, and everything that you offer him also just adds to his beauty or becomes beautiful because of him. But yes, you could very well be right, as far as that is concerned. I know you for more than 20 years, but see no change. Now that is it a compliment or is it what? In fact, your lectures are even better. Thank you. But I feel so much change in my body, mind with aging, I wonder why. It is just the genetic stuff, nothing more than that, What the body is and what it looks like is simply genes, I guess. There is no other credit to be taken on how the body is. It's just a gift given by the parents. And so that's how the genes are, and nothing more than that. Nothing otherworldly about the Swami, nothing something different. When we listen, we understand the concept, but after some time we forget the teachings. How to remember? So one suggestion I can make is have a notebook, and when you are listening, not that you have to jot down everything, but jot down important points. And you can revisit them. When you have time, revisit them. That's how the important points will be remembered. And you won't have this sense of loss, that I lost everything. Everybody forgets, by the way. Everybody forgets. That includes me also. And so, but then when you're listening to the talk, you find something that is worth remembering, jot it down. If you have time, then you can, after the thing is over, when you get time, you can write in longhand also, so it's more understandable. But this is very effective in as much as when we write it, then our understanding becomes even clearer. We discover more when we write it and we wonder, oh wow, this is what I listened. And when you read it after 1 month, did I write this? Did I understand all this? So that way writing is very beneficial, that's what we have found, and depends upon your time and schedule and everything. But during the class you may make notes of important points. At least you can revisit them if nothing else. If you had some time, then instead of doing some other activity, you can revisit them and write in the longhand. Very rewarding activity. That also is called mananam. Shravan means when you listen, mananam means thus you have an opportunity again to reflect upon it. Despite of having all, why we feel sense of lacking and not satisfied naturally. If you are satisfied, then nothing needs to be done. Therefore, a sense of dissatisfaction is placed in the heart of human being. Nobody else has that problem. A cow, a buffalo has no problem. It's satisfied. Everything, you can see how everything is blooming. They're all happy with themselves. See all the trees and plants and birds, and they're all free because they're all happy with themselves. Except this fellow. Why is it so? Because that self-dissatisfaction is a special gift given to us. Because then alone we'll do something to discover satisfaction. Not that these are more evolved than we are. We are much more evolved than other aspects of nature. But the price that you pay for evolution is this self-dissatisfaction. It's also part of things. Comes with the free will. And that is to motivate us to do something, to become free. And so, therefore we can change. So, sense of lack and dissatisfaction is nothing new. In spite of having everything, because everything, what contributes is my satisfaction with myself. Outside things have only a limited contribution in that. Ultimately, as we said, with the right attitudes, we have to bring about that satisfaction ourselves. Even though we perform our duties sincerely, the dishonesty of others we work with demotivates us. So let us focus on this one. The dishonesty of others we work with demotivates us, which is understandable. But if you explore it a little more, that means that we perform our duties sincerely, and it is human that we always seeking some reward from what we do. Reward is in terms of some appreciation from, apart from reward in terms of material things, we also seek, an appreciation from others, approval from others. And because we work very sincerely to accomplish this much, we have to work very hard. Other fellows get that without working hard. That is what dishonesty. When this person says, the dishonesty of others we work with demotivates us because they get away with things. If dishonest people are miserable, I don't think you'll feel bad. But what we call dishonest are the people who get away with the things for which we have to work very hard, and therefore that is our problem. Our problem is not that we did not get something, problem is they got away with it. You follow? So think about it and ask yourself, is there a need for you to feel bad about? Understand more basic law right now. No, there is no free lunch. Meaning that nobody gets anything without having to do something. If these people, even though they are dishonest, it is not the dishonesty that is bothering us, they are getting away with it. That is what is bothering us. In spite of being dishonest, they get the same benefit that we get. That is our problem. Alright? Understand that nobody gets free. Some karma which they may have done in the past, right now fructifies to give them what they are getting, and what they are doing now will fructify to give them whatever that they will get. So nobody gets anything free. Whatever I get and whatever you get, whatever anybody gets, is always the result of the past karma. Although it's an invisible factor, we do not know how it plays its role, and so we cannot say exactly how karma has played the role. So we can only see the external situations, and so we think that's all there is, but that's not all there is. There are these other factors also, and therefore, why should you be demotivated, dishonest of other people? Because for motivation I need some approval. I need some reward in terms of other people's, validating me, etc. And these fellows get away without anything, so I don't get validated. My honesty doesn't seem to be validated, and therefore I feel disappointed. But it's human nature to always expect some reward from anything that we do. When you're working, performing your duty sincerely, then also the reward of validation, appreciation, validation. Not only that, but you also want that those people who don't dare, they should be punished. That also I want. Not only that I should be favored for functioning sincerely, but these fellows who are dishonest must be punished. That's not happening. They seem to be getting away with dishonesty also, what I get with honesty. And then my honesty is not paid. And that's why I'm demotivated. I don't think my honesty is really rewarding me anything, so why should I be honest also? So this is all what human being does, always does with some self-centered purpose. So even sincere activity also has a purpose of some kind of reward, some kind of validation, and then not coming, that's why I become disappointed. Understand this functioning of the mind. You're not disappointed because of other people. Disappointed that you are getting reward after working hard, which they are getting without doing that, therefore you are disappointed. The law of karma doesn't seem to be working, it always works. And so when you work sincerely, it never goes unrewarded. So do what best you can do. That itself is the reward. Don't always ask for rewards, also. Slowly you should grow out of this tendency, always seeking rewards. That's a beggarly tendency. But more we do this way, more satisfaction we get, then even the need for getting reward also will slowly go down. How to work with difficult people? Those who do not want to cooperate or ignore the responsibility. It is tough. If you're a team leader, then that's a problem. If your team members are not do not cooperate, if team members do not take responsibility, then it is difficult. But then I guess there are always ways in an organization as to how to deal with these people. How to involve others also, involve your superiors also to this, or involve human relation department or something like that. Or try to sympathetically understand the people who don't cooperate. Have sympathy. When they don't cooperate, then we reject them in our mind. There is a reason why the person does. Why does he comes late every day? I hate it, but there may be a reason why the person... No reason at all. He's just lazy, but that's also a reason. what I'm saying is that people are what they are because they have some inner problems. Nobody wants to be dishonest. Nobody wants to be insincere. Everybody wants to be honest. Everybody wants to be sincere because then only they can love themselves. I cannot love a dishonest I. I cannot love an insincere I. Therefore, it is not by choice that I am dishonest or I am insincere. That's what I find myself to be. Therefore, we also should understand that they have some inner problem, that is why they are dishonest. Some inner problem, that is why they are insincere. So if you look at that problem of person behind the behavior, then perhaps we may be able to have sympathy for that. That is, we won't hate them, or we won't be resentful to them. And then things will become much easier. If resentment goes away from our mind, then we become light, then it becomes easier.
Thank you, Swamiji.
All right?
Thank you, Swamiji. I'm not using mic. Everybody can hear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, again, Swamiji, we cannot thank enough.
I like that.